Welcome everybody, welcome YouTube. So these two are our Poutons, Poodle and Katan. Little boy, little girl. So Webster, this is Webster. He's the more predominant white. And Gail here, she's got a little bit of red and stuff on her. So Poodle Katans, or what we call Poutons. Very sweet-natured little guys. A little bit calmer, kind of nice. A lot of our Katans, we tend to call them our empty nester dogs. They fit well into a little bit quieter environments. They do okay with kids, and you know, if you have children, that's okay. But if you want a very engaging dog for the kids, this may not be the best mix for them. But they do really good, like I said, in a little bit quieter types of homes, things like that. And anyway, so your Poodle Katan, and all you can see is their backsides, but your Poodle Katan, these are going to be a scale 4 on our allergy scale, and that is very, very good. Super good, actually. Meaning if you have dog-specific allergies, these guys are going to work well for you. Now, this is a hair, okay? So this is a very low shed. They really don't drop any much hair at all. You don't really find a lot of stray hairs around. And you will need to groom these guys. You're going to need to comb them out. Use your hard comb to comb through them. This allows you to get down to the skin and comb through them very well. You will need to go to the groomer as well. Groomer typically is about every 6 to 8 weeks, kind of depending on how you want to keep them. But normally we start at about 14 weeks, usually when we give them their first puppy cut. And these guys, a puppy cut is fine for these guys. So, you know, you can go ahead with that with these. Now, working with these guys, like I said, you can see they're a little quiet because they just got here too. But he is the quieter one of the two. She's got just a little bit more spirit to her. But she got these real pretty red raccoon eyes and the red ears and stuff. She got a lot of color. He's got color on his ears as well. And he keeps wanting to look at me instead of you guys. But anyway, turn him around a little bit for you. There we go. So, like I said, quieter nature dogs. Now, working with these guys, you want to be training and stuff. Don't be too harsh. Okay, these are sensitive nature kind of dogs. So we don't want to be, you know, super harsh with them. Don't let them get away with stuff. But you know, you don't want to be like overly strict with them either. So work with them on the general side. You know, be repetitive with your training, things like that. And you know, these guys do really well. Now, like I said, you know, if you have children, these will be okay as long as the kids aren't, you know, overly rambunctious and stuff like that. You can see these guys aren't really doing a whole lot. They're just kind of hanging here. This is normally their temperament. They do play, you know, don't get me wrong, they're not total couch potatoes, but they do play, they do run around and stuff like that. But, you know, kind of like your Katans. And we have a pure Katan here as well, but kind of like them. So a little bit about us before we move over. So this is Friday Night Live with Your New Puppy. We do this every Friday night. We talk about our dogs and just give you some traits and tips and little tidbits about these guys so that you, when you're ready to add another family member to your house, you know, you kind of do so with an educated basis as far as what's going to fit your family. So we are actually located in Cincinnati. We have regular store hours and open 7 days a week. And you are certainly welcome to come in. This is one of the play areas. We set you up in here and, you know, get the guys out to answer your questions, different things like that. So, you know, if you're not from Cincinnati and if you want, you know, say you wanted to have the dog delivered, we actually are able to do that. I use the delivery team quite a bit, and you know, taking dogs and getting dogs and whatnot. But you know, they use a van, and not Airflight. They use a van and 2 drivers. You know, very safe, secure. Each puppy has their own little private cubicle. You know, while they're in transit, and you know, a nice way to move these guys around. But there is ways, you know, like I said, if you're from out of state and you're interested in stuff, you know, one of these guys, we do have a way to get them to you. So that was just a little bit about us and just a little bit about our Poodle Catans. These guys, by the way, weight-wise, these guys are be in the 10 to 12 pound range. She definitely will be. He actually is a little bit heavier boy. He might go a little bit heavier than that. We may end up sizing him up to, you know, maybe 14 pounds when he matures. So, but anyway, so that's a little bit about these. We're going to step over.
All right, and while Mark's making his way over here to the next play area, again, that was our Poutons, Poodle, and a Catan de Tolier. A little bit more about us. As well. So this is Friday Night Live at Your New Puppy. If you guys want to find out more information about us and just the pups in general and kind of the processes we cover a little bit during the live, feel free to check out our website. Website's going to be yournewpuppyllc.com. You guys can type it in your browser, should be the first thing that pops up. There's a lot of useful information on there, but I'll go ahead and pass it back over to Mark so he can go ahead and talk about these 2 little wiggle butts.
Wiggle butts is about right too. So the brown and white one, this one, all right, that is Maynard, and Maynard is a Pouchon. Okay, Pouchon is Poodle Bichon. And then he is doubled up with a little one, which you probably can't see because he's right up against. Come here. Come here. Yeah, you Munchkin. All right, there you go. You can see him now. All right, so little Munchkin there. That is a toy poodle. And that is Lucien. Sue. Hi, kiddos. So we have a poodle and a Poodle Bichon. This is our little poodle. And this is our Poodle Bichon. So, similar dogs. This one, I want to point out his color. Can you guys see that color?
Yep, color's coming across.
He's pretty sharp. He's called in as a red, but you know, or his description said red. But I mean, you can see he's got a chestnut kind of color to him. We've got some dark on the ears. I'm really going to be curious to see what this little guy looks like when he matures. He's going to be really something else. And plus, he's just got a lot of fights to him too. That's what I like about him. He's just a sassy little boy. So, and for me personally, even though he's a Munchkin, he's a feisty little dude. So that's my kind of puppy. So anyway, Poodle Bichon, and the Poodle's going to be in the 8 to 10 pound range. He's on the smaller side, so he is going to be considered a toy. And the Pouchon, this one, with his belly up, he's going to be in the 10 to 12 pound range, so just a little bit bigger. Now, both of these are hair dogs, okay, all the way around. And of course, your pure poodle is always hair, but Poodle Bichons are hair as well. And what does hair mean? Hair as opposed to fur. Fur is the dogs that shed. They are what we call fur dogs. And a lot of times it's your shorter haired guys, but you also have guys like your retrievers, your golden retrievers, your Labradors, things like that. That is fur. You know, any of your hunting dogs and different things. So a number of those guys are fur dogs, and that is what sheds. Your hair dogs, this is what we call a very, very low shed. In other words, these guys really don't drop a lot of hair. So you're really not cleaning up a lot and things like that. Now keep in mind, if you're not cleaning up hair, vacuuming up hair, that means you do have to take these guys to the groomer because this hair continues to grow. It grows just like it does on us. That's why we call it hair. But it continues to grow, and these guys will get, you know, very long and very tangled up and stuff. So with all hair dogs, you do have maintenance with them. And of course, that maintenance is combing them out on a regular basis. We simply use a hard comb for any hair dog. You don't want to use a slicker brush on these guys because your slicker is going to turn them in kind of fuzzy. But use your hard comb, This is one version of a hard comb, there's all kinds of them. I like these guys myself actually, cause I can grip it really well. You know, they make like like a comb, but I don't like those. This seems to like fit my hand better, so this is like my preference, but either way, doesn't matter, whatever you guys like. So let me get a little poodle back up here, there we go. Okay, so, you are, with these guys, we do have a very nice intelligence here. The poodle especially, him especially, these are both little boys too, by the way. Little Bichon, both of these guys, when you're working with them, when you're training with these guys, it's going to be about the same steps and process. They should train up pretty well. Be repetitive with them, work with them, and give them some belly scratches, and he will be forever yours. But be positive with your training. A lot of people don't like to scold, or be negative with training. And me personally, I believe every action has a consequence to it. If they're doing good, yes, you should reward them. But if they're doing bad, if they're doing something bad, then I think, you should bring that to their attention. And that can be done a lot of ways. It doesn't have to be done harsh. Even something as simple as a loud clap, just smacking your hands together, when these guys do something, and what that does is it startles them and gets their attention. It draws them away from the thing that they were just doing that is bad. But that's one way to get their attention, and that's, like I said, that's a consequence, and it's just a clap, but it does truly work. Works actually very well. So if they're doing something, I believe they should be corrected. And again, just my personal beliefs, but I do believe they should be corrected and done correctly. But anyway, and then of course, some treats and stuff when they do a good job, or just praise, simple praise. I use my voice tones when I talk to my guys, and it does very well, and it works. My guys respond to voice tone and praise as much as they do to treats or things like that. So just a little bit about training. So those of you guys that are just joining us, you are watching Friday Night Live. Your New Puppy, and we are Your New Puppy. That's the name of our store. We are located in Cincinnati, and we do have a website. You'll find that in our profiles, and you can go to our website. That's where you're going to find pictures of everybody. Go to the Our Puppies page. These guys are new. They just got here. They won't have their pictures up till tomorrow. But anyway, use that website. There's lots of information on there. If you're looking for something down the line, we do have a future litters page as well. And that future litters page will let you see what's coming in. It's specific by breed only. So like if we were talking about these two, it would just say Poodle and Bichon, and that's all the information we give. I don't go into specific details because a lot of times I don't exactly know, what we're gonna get. I may have it written down, as far as a male, but sometimes the coloring, like I said, this guy with his color, when we booked him, he was called a red, and in my opinion, even though he's red, this is not red like I would think red in my head, So there are changes and stuff that can happen with that future litters page, but and that's one of the reasons I don't go into a lot of details, because we want to make sure and get these guys in. Of course, we need to do our quarantine process with them and get them vet checked and make sure they're all ready to go before they come down. So, anyway. But yeah, the future litters page does have the by breed only. And if you want a little bit more information, you're welcome to reach out to me, reach out to us, and I can tell you, a little bit more about them. Like I said, I might know it's a male, and I might know he's brown and white, and different things like that. Pictures and stuff typically are not available or ready until right before they're going to get here. When we post what we call a sneak peek, which is a little video we'll put on social media ahead of time, kind of as an advertisement. But anyway, So these two little guys here, and again, our Bouchon, Poodle Bichon, and then our little Poodle, which I think this guy's just amazing. You'll be able to come down and see these guys tomorrow when we open, and stuff like that, and get them out and play with them. So that's a little bit about these guys and a little bit about us. We have one more pen to talk about, so we'll step over to that and talk about that.
And real quick, just before we move over that way, again, that was the little guy is our Poodle, and then the other one is the Bouchon, Poodle and Bouchon. We'll go ahead and move over this way now, just because these two, Mark will talk about in a sec, they've been very vocal, kind of excited to get to. So the little dark brown one he'll talk about in a sec, and the other one, kind of easy to identify, but a little bit more about us. Mark was kind of referencing a lot of information. A lot of stuff's available on our website. Just check that out. That's going to be yournewpuppyllc.com. You guys can go on there, and we do have pictures and videos on all the guys that we currently have available, except these new guys. We'll have them up tomorrow afternoon. Future litters page, there's a delivery page as well too, or you guys can, we talk about the website, you can always pop in the store. We're open 7 days a week. Business hours are on there too. But I'll go ahead and pass it over to Mark so he can talk about these two.
All right, thank you, sir. So our brown and white one is a pure Shih Tzu, and that is Norman. And then the brown one is a little female, and that is Ophelia. And she is what we call a Shorkie, and that is a Shih Tzu and Yorkie mix. Chewing on my shoelaces. Hi. Huh? Hi. All right, so two Shih Tzu types, pure Shih Tzu, Shih Tzu mix. All right, and come here. No, you gotta come here. All right, so a little bit different coat. These guys are these are both hair dogs as well. Everybody today was a hair dog, but these are hair dogs also. Our Shorkie here, she is going to have more of a scruffly kind of coat, just because of the mix, and stuff. It's actually not uncommon for this mix to have that scruffle look to it. I know there's a lot of people out there that like that. Some don't, and that's cool. But a lot of people like that scruffy kind of puppy look. So this one is going to do that for you. This is a little girl. This is Ophelia, and this is a Shorkie. And then our pure Shih Tzu, the little boy. This is our pure Shih Tzu. He is a AKC, I believe. I don't remember. He's registered. This is Norman, and he's a registered Shih Tzu. Like I said, I think it's AKC. Or no, he's ACA.
ACA.
He's ACA, that's right. I had to remember where he came from. Listen, you. He's ACA, which is American Canine Association. And she, this little one, is actually registered ICA, which is International Canine Association. And just to put a little legitimacy, even though she's a mix, to that. So anyway, so what you've got with these guys, you've got some spirit, you've got some pep to them. You heard them kind of fussing and playing with the toys and roughing it up. The little Shih Tzu was really digging on these keys earlier. But you get a little guy with a little bit more face to them. So if you happen to have children and you want something a little more engaging, these guys would work really well for that. But this one especially, she's a sassy little thing too. Got lots of personality. But both of these are hair dogs, which I mentioned, and of course, combing and grooming. Now it's going to be very different combing and grooming these two, okay? Because we have two very different hairstyles. So, like the Shih Tzu, so his is going to be straight and long. His is pretty soft. Her, with the coat that she's got, you're really not going to have. You're going to need to clean it up, but you're not going to have as much grooming needs with her, I don't believe. She tends to be favoring a little bit more the Yorkie side of coat quality, and Yorkies actually can do that, where their coat grows pretty slowly. Some grow quick. I have two Yorkies myself, and one is her hair grows very quickly, and I have to clip her all the time. But the other one is very slow. I mean, like I can trim her up with scissors and she's fine. her hair grows really slowly. My guess is this one is gonna do the same thing. So it's gonna be really easy to take care of her. You know, even a hard comb, you could even use a slicker on this, to be quite frank, cause it's kinda down to the skin, but a hard comb, if she gets any tangles, which I don't think she's gonna give her many, you know, we'll work on the Shih Tzu. That's definitely going to be a hard comb issue. He's got a definite longer coat, a little bit smoother. This would be a little bit more prone to matting and stuff like that. So we do want to, that's my comb. You do want to comb them out. Grooming, like I said, her probably not very often. I don't even know a time frame. I guess kind of as needed. With him, every 6 to 8 weeks, definitely. Now, these guys, like I said, a little bit more spirit to them, a little bit more personality and pep to them, and this one in particular. So if you want a nice smaller dog, these guys are going to be 10 to 12 pounds when they mature. So if you want something smaller, easy to carry with you, take with you, whatever, but then also something that's going to be a little bit more playful, a little bit more engaging. You know, you've got a couple kiddos in the house and stuff. You know, these guys will work really well. They're getting a little tired right now because they've already been out for, you know, 20 minutes playing and stuff, but when we first put them out, they were like all over the place. So now working and training with these guys, you are going to need to be consistent with these two. We have a pure Shih Tzu, we have a Shih Tzu and Yorkie here. All these breeds and mixes, Yorkies, Shih Tzus, these are breeds that are a little obstinate, a little stubborn about training. So you do want to be very, very consistent. If you've got multiple members in the house, make sure everybody is on the same page as far as what they are doing with these guys, you know, in the schedule. It's very important to keep a consistent schedule with them. Whatever your schedule is, it doesn't matter. You know, if you by chance, you know, if you get up at 6 in the morning and, you know, but you go to bed at 9 o'clock in the evening, you know, whatever your schedule is, it's fine. These guys will adjust to it. But keeping your schedule consistent throughout the day, and even throughout, you know, the weekday versus the weekend, things like that. Consistency helps greatly when you're trying to train these guys up, because the dogs get a little confusing when everybody's doing things differently. You know, if you're doing different stuff during the week and then on the weekend, it's a different routine. You know, eventually they'll learn all that, but initially it's confusing. It's very hard for them to understand. Why are we doing it this way now? Because just yesterday we did it that way. And although they are not going to necessarily process it that way, they are definitely going to understand that there's a difference going on, and they're not really sure what it is you want. What do you want me to do? You know, kind of stuff. So anyway, be scheduled, be consistent, work with these guys. These guys would both be great candidates for puppy classes. Puppy classes work very well, especially if you're a novice kind of dog owner. Puppy classes work very well because they will teach you, as well as they would teach the dog, some basic things. You know, for the dog, it's basic commands, or basic walk on a leash, or sit, or, you know, simple things, whatever. The great thing about puppy classes and what it teaches you is communicating. How do I communicate to this dog so that he understands what I want him to do? You know, they don't understand you know, English per se. You know, they will learn their name, they'll learn syllables, they learn sounds, different things like that. But their brain operates very differently than ours. So they can, they're very intuitive. They can read your body language. They can read your voice tones. They can hear your voice tones and know, you know, they know if you're upset, if you're angry. They know if you're in a good mood, in a bad mood. They pick up on these types of things. And that is how they communicate to us. But unfortunately, people don't know how to communicate to them. So puppy classes are very good because it helps you to talk to the dog in a way that the dog understands. So anyway, that's a little bit about that and training. You know, if you're interested in these guys, definitely swing on in. We are open 7 days a week, and we have standard regular hours. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to reach out. You can always direct message any of our social media pages that we're on. We will respond to those. Of course, you can pick up the phone and call if you've got a specific question about something, and we're happy to answer that. So I'm gonna scoop up these two, both of them, and we're gonna step out real quick and we'll wrap this up.
All right, well, Mark's coming over here to go ahead and close this out. A little bit more about us. Feel free to check out that website. There's a lot of useful information on there. That's going to be yournewpuppyllc.com. There's a
My water.
there's a future litters page on there that which Mark will talk about in just a sec. What we got coming in the future. If you also go on there too, there's an FAQs page. As Mark mentioned, if you guys do have a question that we didn't cover during the live, just direct message our page after the live and we'll try to get back to you as soon as we can. Also, what you guys can do, we're open 7 days a week. Tomorrow we're open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can just give us a ring as well too. Phone number's on the website. Website again is yournewpuppyllc.com. But I've talked enough. I'll go ahead and pass it over to Mark so he can close this out.
Yep, we'll wrap this up here. Let me give you a little what we call teaser for next week. We have Bernedoodles that'll be here. We have two, one's a blue merle female and a red merle male. Those guys will be showing up. We have a Molshi. Molshi is Maltese and Shih Tzu. That is a little female. She's brown and white. We have a Lhasa Apso. Lhasa Apso is pure Lhasa, not a Lhasa mix. That is a little female. She's a solid color, kind of like this one, but a little bit lighter brown. And then we have a Maltipoo. Maltipoo is a little female. She is red. We have a Havapoo. Havapoo's Havanese and Poodle. That is a little boy. He is actually chocolate and white. We have a Yorkie Poo, and standard traditional black and tan on the Yorkie Poo. And then we also have a Schnauzer coming in. She is a cutie, and she is what we call a party color. So she's black and white. She's multicolored. So we thank you very much for joining, watching, and learning a little bit about our guys. Like Michael said, if you have any questions, give us a shout. We're happy to talk to you about our dogs. So other than that, we want to wish you all a fantastic week.